Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Aquarium, the King of Crustaceans. What the hell did I just play? Is the question that I will be posing to myself as I go into this video. Now, it's 8:09, it came out yesterday, it's 10% off during its promotional period. It's a 3D battle game. It says shooter, but that's not anywhere close to what the game it actually is. It's more so like a Gundam-like battle system, sort of a 3D battle system, and it's really hard to describe where this game goes. Now, you got a bunch of characters here. I am recording over the footage. Again, there have been a lot of games lately where it's just not wanted to play nice with recording software, and this was one of them, especially with the audio. So I got to figure out what's going on with that, and it's specifically specific games, too, which is weird. Gonna play on normal as the spiny lobster, but I just want to read the story part for you, because, yeah, I will give the guys this. There's a sense of humor here. Millions of years into the future, at around 4:15 p.m. Wednesday, the rapid development of subspatial travel technology and biological weirdedry has resulted in the birth of a completely new plane of aquatic existence called the Aquarium. The ease in which this device allows one to appreciate oceanic awesomeness quickly made the Aquarium system a worldwide phenomenon. Now large portions of the Earth's oceans have become part of the Aquarium system. Or have they? No, wait, they have. Anyway, for the creatures inhabiting the sea, radical changes, subspatial shenanigans, tomfoolery, it was like thumping Mother Nature in the face with a hard frozen potato. The sea creatures decided to slap back with their own Poseidon potato. Yeah, you can see where the humor is. This is obviously a Japanese-influenced game, and I think this is a purposeful bad translation or purposeful take on things. There is comedy here, and I actually think this is probably the biggest strength of this game, is the way that it goes about just sort of setting its own, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but just absurdity is, I guess, what I'm looking for. It's definitely interesting. Now, we're going to get into the battle here, and I'm going to tell you exactly where this game... I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to recommend this game. I'm not. And there's a couple reasons why, despite there being one or two cool things. Now, first of all, I'm the lobster, and I'm fighting, I think, a crab here. Now, one of the things you'll notice is the way I'm moving. This game's control system, let's start there. I have no idea what's going on. So the way that it works, and this is even controller or not, you hold the L button, in this case for the controller, to look in a specific direction. You hold it to look at where your lobster is looking at that very point. No second stick or anything. It is really hard to understand which way you're moving at times, and there is not a lot of precision here. All right, now, one of the things that the combat in terms of question, it's hard to see what's going on in combat and what you're doing specifically. Now, you'll notice something here. I apparently shed my shell. One of the unique features of this game is the ability to lose limbs, and that can actually affect your creature in due time. Notice how I lost a couple of legs there. That can affect your creature in terms of movement speed and power and things like that. Now, I want to save the replay. No, not really. That is a cool idea. I wish it was executed better. Yes, there is a reason to go after limbs. If you could control it, that would be the great part of this game. If I could systematically control which parts that I could go after, or really have the control to actually, attack a specific portion of their limbs. But the lack of controls in this game is what really, really kills it. I don't have that ability in question. I don't have the ability to really target. You see that target there? That's automatic. I have no real control over that. The game doesn't really teach you much of anything as well. Now, I just activated the skill there. That is a level 2 skill. You do have 4 specific bars, as you see there. There's life, which obviously no more life, no more lobster. Power, which is used to do bigger attacks, like those little tentacles that are coming out of me right now. Skill is used to I'm not exactly sure what the skill is. I think it just recharges over time so that I can use a specific skill. But more so, I think it's also used for shedding a shell, for example. Now, you notice the breakaway ranged and melee attack. That means I can use a part of myself to actually attack the enemy. I haven't noticed a reasonable difference in terms of damage, though. And part of that is the fact that it's really hard to actually hit the enemy with a reasonable rate. This is me just sort of bashing buttons at this point. I spent an hour and a half on this game trying to figure out what was the best way of going about and attacking. Really, I can't say there is one. Now, you do have melee and ranged attacks. I'm not sure what the ranged attacks are supposed to be here, but it's a little bit strange. You could also ascend. There is not a descend option. You just sort of like gravity handle you. And now you notice there, leg breakage, 80%. I don't have the speed. I need to shed my shell, but I need power. So there is a little bit of a strategy to whether or not when to shed the shell, when to use like breakage portions. But again, it's all undermined by the fact that the controls. I know people have written about the fact that, you know, okay, it just takes a while to get used to these controls. There's a difference between getting used to the controls and having the controls do what you want it to do. And that's the difference here. Yeah, you'll get used to the controls on the camera and be able to use it, but you won't ever have the precision in order to actually take advantage of it as well, which is a huge problem for this game because, again, there's an interesting concept under the surface here. There really is. Also, the camera just does whatever it wants at times. I don't understand when it decides to move the way it does and when it doesn't. Now, there are levels to each power portion. Like, you see the blue, green, and red. There's level 1, 2, and 3. Again, bigger power means more damaging moves, maybe more range on the moves. But it's, again, undermined by the fact that it's really hard to hit your enemy with any sort of precision, at least in my eyes. Now, we're going to go to another creature here who's going to beat the crap out of me. But I need to talk about the UI. The UI in almost every segment of this is just horrible. I mean, like those bars should have borders around them, like thick borders, so you can see the difference there. Those lines that you can see there, I could barely make out that there's a green line that it's at the power portion. Also, I decided to dance here because this sounded really initially like Mortal Kombat, like some of the Mortal Kombat theme. But now I'm facing crustaceans here, or barnacles or something like that. These guys just rip me apart because they're actually a little bit different. They just sort of hop around, but they stay still and basically fire missiles, which, again, with the lack of control scheme, it's really hard to actually hit them. But with ranged attacks, you can hit pretty well. Now, you're probably wondering what the temperature, oxygen, and organic meters mean. I wish I could tell you, because the game never explains them, nor do I understand what they actually do for battle. I've played around with it, tried to understand what they do. Those values change, but hell if I know. You can get rid of that menu, that input portion. I'm showing it to you just for the sake of the video, but you can get rid of that menu with the select button. It's one of those things, though, that I kept on forgetting exactly what the keys were, especially for the breakaway, and so I kept on turning it on, and just for the sake of the video, I kept it on. And there you see, I took a lot of damage. I had to shed my shell, but again, ranged is too powerful. I mean, literally, look at what's happening here. I'm getting my ass handed to me in terms of damage, and I can't really do anything to deal with it. And there we go, death. There's the idea of a game having a cool mechanic, and I really wish this game could really take advantage of that. But again, having a cool mechanic is one thing, but being able to implement it is another, and I think that's where this game ultimately failed. Now, you do have an aquarium mode, which is sort of you being able to edit the sort of arena or your own aquarium that you're playing in. My God, the controls for this are horrible. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Like, okay, I'm trying to move this. Okay, installation store. Okay, I apparently stored it. Okay, now I've installed it. Like, the controls, to me, in terms of the way that this game goes about it, is completely the opposite of what you would want from not only from the battle standpoint, but from the simulation standpoint here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm attempting to, select things and put them down and move them around, but like the lack of camera control. Here, the L and R buttons, at least if you're using a controller, do make a difference because you can control it that way, but it's a meh kind of control because it's just like, well, I can control it, barely. Now, you can add a bunch of stuff to your aquarium. Like, I'm going to add here a bunch of creatures to my aquarium, or plant life, which you could barely see. The graphics aren't the greatest, but the thing is with the graphics is that blue and green naturally don't go together, and I know this is an aquarium-themed game, but that's where you have to make a decision regarding your game about whether you want to go the realistic route or whether or not you need to go the realistic or a non-realistic route, but being able to better accentuate the gameplay. Here, blue and green, especially the darker greens, don't work together because you have no idea the difference between them. It's hard to see from a distance at times what those things are. Now, I also want to point out here that I tried to use the controller to put in the name, and I got sick of it, so I went to go and type it in because of the lack of controls, and then it just kind of done kicking me back to the regular screen. And I'm like, okay, wait, what? Okay, so it brought me back to here, and no. So I don't know what happened there. I just decided, okay, fine, I'll save the data. I'm going to do one more battle for you guys, and then just sort of call it at this point, because honestly, this is a game you should avoid. I mean, unfortunately, while it has a unique concept, and it may, if you're able to get an understanding of the controls and understanding of how to somehow precisely attack your enemies, then this game may be worth it. But with my time with it, to me, there was absolutely no way with the controls implemented. And I think that's a major flaw with the game. And again, the lack of control of the camera makes absolutely no sense. It goes against a lot of essential design decisions in terms of what needs to happen here. Now, for some reason, I'm using my own crab shell to bash the enemy with. I wish I understood when I could do that and when I couldn't. There's a lot of strangeness here. I'm just going to put it that way. I don't know how else I can put this game. I almost wanted to make this game a what the F series in terms of not a Total Biscuit WTF series, but the what the hell did I just play? Now, I honestly don't know what I just played, and honestly, you should probably avoid it at all costs. If you're looking for a laugh, the story is hilarious, but there's a lot of places or a lot of games that have hilarious stories that play well. And this, again, just does not play well. I can't lock onto him. There is no lock-on feature, so I'm just sort of attempting to move around and hopefully attack my enemy. Obviously, I'm getting my butt kicked in normal. I don't even want to consider what hard is at this point. But if you had any doubts of getting this game or any reservations, yeah, you should, because you shouldn't get this game, in my opinion. There's just too many problems with it in terms of the controls. And while it's cool and fun, it's got a unique mechanic, it just does not work. All right, this is Dragnix signing out. If you liked this content, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. In addition, if you saw this on Steam in terms of the review, if you liked it or disliked it, give it an up or down. It gives me more exposure. If it is an up and if it's a down, it gives me something to understand, okay, what did I do wrong here? But yeah, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you all have a wonderful day and keep on gaming. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left-hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left-hand side as well. And if you missed my last video, take a look at the right-hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.